I say this a lot. I'm really excited for the next speaker. I'm really excited for the next speaker. I actually mean it every single time I say it. But for the next speaker, I had the honor of going to the IWD event in Montreal. And I mentioned this yesterday as well. I have never been to an event where I've been completely blown away by every single speaker that took up the stage. And usually you have great speakers and you have a great variety, but each speaker leaving a mark on me was the first time that this happened. And right after that, I spoke to Laurence. I'm like, listen, you have to share your secret sauce. You have to. And usually people, like a magician never tells his secrets or tells his tricks. I had begged her to do exactly that. So I'm really grateful that she agreed, and she's here today to share how to curate great speakers for your event. So please give a warm welcome to Laurence.
Need to click. Okay. So hi everyone. I have a good introduction, so I will not introduce again myself. I'm a DDG Montreal Android person, and it's all creating great speaker for a big event because for meetup it's kind of not the same way of doing it. So before trying to get speakers, you need to figure out how you will attract them. Speakers are volunteer like us, and they want to see like what is the value of the event, how it can help me in the future or in my background to grow. So for doing that, it's always good to have at least something, a website about your event, or any blogs or data about other events that are doing kind of the same event to say, oh, my event will be super great, we will be a lot of attendees, and this is how it's running. We have picture of last year, video of other speakers, so you be recorded, and it will be great to sell yourself again. So just adding something, and I think everybody knows about Overboard, but if you don't know this website, it's helped a lot for starting your website event. And there is some bug on it, but you can customize it and make it with Firebase, super cool, and doing mobile application even though. So when you have your website that is ready, you need to define it before asking any speaker what will be the advantage and reward that you will give to them. Usually you can sell like, oh, my event is big, you will access to all the conferences after that, and I can bring you someone, you can bring whatever you want, your partner, a friend, for free. There is also transportation. People doesn't travel for free. Usually, if you can refund the transportation, they will be more willing to come to your event. So I don't know. Okay, sorry. I have speaker note, and I didn't want it to get that. So you need at least to have information about what you will refund. Do the hotel is covered? Do you refund the plane? And everything like that. After that, you need to create a call for paper. Why? Because we want to define everything in it that is like a contract between you and the speakers. So you look like more professional saying, oh, this is what you give to you, and it's what we're searching for the conference. So you need to specify on it what is the category of speaker you're looking for. If you're more searching for TED Talks speakers or more technical teaching courses or code lab, you specify everything in it, and you put a submission deadline because you want to be able to choose between all the speakers that will apply to your CFP. For doing that, I'm using a website that's called PaperCall, and it's free for a community up to 5 organizers, and it's helped a lot to share with other speakers that subscribe to this website, and it will help you also to say all the important information, what you include in your package for the speakers, and you can add additional information to say, hey, if you have any video of any previous talk, please give me some links, or like trying to get information of what is your background as a speaker. We want some speakers that are new too, but we want experienced one, and we want to be able to evaluate them. So this is a great website to all manage the conference. They can also, there is a easy UI to select accepted, rejected, and waiting person and send in automatically an email say, hey, you got accepted or not. So you don't need to manage all that by yourself, and you can rate on it on the website the speakers. So it was just use that, it's super useful. Once you got your call for paper, you need to spread it to the world. So there is a lot of CFP lists on the internet, like the Twitter one that it's just a GitHub. You push your information of when is your event, what is the deadline to subscribe a talk, and it will automatically spread the word about all their lists and speakers all around the world. You can also do email campaigns, social media, and newspaper on your website. But important, we're a community. So we have GD. We have person that want to talk, and they are they are passionate about it. So it's super fun to go to the website and just here looking, finding GDE, and asking them about to speak to your event. But another thing that is important is the community. I'm doing a lot of partnership with other meetups, and we are like helping each other for the visibility, sharing events, and going to open mic, talking about, oh, my event is coming next, we're looking for a speaker, if you're interested, come, fill the CFP, every idea can be found. It's helped a lot to reach people that you're not usually reaching out, because we're kind of always thinking about ourselves and the Google part, but there's a lot of other meetups that can share for free our information and help us to bring more people to our event or our sponsor. Another thing that is interesting is to ask your personal contact. Because like me, I hate speaking in front of people, and if Nevin didn't ask me like more than 3-4 times to please, 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 please come talk to in front of everyone, I will not. I will be like, oh, I love it, watching talk, not stressing on stage and everything. But there is a lot of people that are good, and they just don't have time to do, they will not take the time if you don't ask them and say, oh, you're super good in your field, or you're a good speaker, and I want you to come to my event and speak. I think you'll be a great speaker and can help you with all the advantage we talk here. So it's another way to find speakers. When you go to conference, please talk to everybody and share information, share your business cards. It's super important. Business cards is a little trick, but if you are like me, I don't remember anything. I talk to people and I'm like, it was super important what I told, this person told me, but I don't remember the website or the event. So just having a small piece of information that you can share that resume everything, it can be helpful, and after that, we can add all the speakers in the list or people that are maybe interesting to another one to reach out after that. When you spread all the CFP, you need to wait until you get a lot of submission, and you're like, oh my God, I need only 20% to talk to my conference. And 20 is like, I fill all the schedule to make people fit in. What do you do when you have 100 and more person that subscribe with a lot of great talks? It's not just some talk that is, okay, it's good, relevant, maybe not. It's really good talk, and you need to choose them. So, yeah, introduction to this one. You need to define some rule, how you will evaluate it every speakers, and you need to do that before choosing them. The part of evaluation is just, okay, how can I say this talk is interesting, this speaker is interesting, and things like that. So for myself, I have 3 main criteria for defining, to evaluate all the speakers. The subject is, you want to have some interesting subject. The experience of the speaker, because you want at the end that mostly of your speakers was super great and people get a good feeling after your conference. And the popularity is always good to have like superstars sometimes. For evaluating the subject, I use like two parts, an objective evaluation that it will be more like, not subjective one, so it's really it's clear the content, what the speaker want to talk about in this abstract. Do I understand what you want to bring in front of everyone or not? If the subject is super trendy, it may help to bring people to your conference. And if the subject is original or relevant for our kind of event. And it's subjective one because if you only have objective one, you cannot separate between, oh, this talk I really want to watch it, and the other talk that it was good, well prepared, everything was, the person take time for it, but you're not really willing, you prefer the other one. So it's a way to evaluate and eliminate a speaker after that. Pitch talk. There will be a lot of persons that say, hey, my company is super cool, we have this product, we want to sell this product, but we will not say that. We don't want, yes, we don't want any pitch talk, because if you're going to an event, it's to learn something and not knowing that, oh, this company is so great, they are looking for people to come in and like, yeah, talk to me about something I can learn. Not only that you're good and you doing your startup or whatever. I want to know something, learn, grow, and everything. So if we try to check if the abstract look as a pitch, we eliminate that already. The speaker experience, we evaluate the evaluation of 4 points. And we are doing that by watching all the videos. And if there is no video, we will check, do they have a list of other previous talks? Do this person talk to big conference or no? And when you listen to video, there will be super great speaker that doesn't talk super loud, and it may be super boring to listen even though the subject is great. And they can be super excited person that you're like, oh my God, you're annoying. Stop it doing everything on stage. Like, so you want to know, at least we don't watch every conference, like just a little moment in between and seeing how the person is able to be on stage or not can help you to understand, oh, this speaker is great or not, we want him to go or not. I want to say something. If you're doing a conference for university and kind of is more people of doctorate and study research, it's okay to have like monotone talks and everything. This is what they like. But for us, I'm joking. Sorry for all the person that have a good diploma, but yeah, for our kind of environment, we want people to get interested, to laugh a little bit, and not just say, oh, my cell phone is super interesting. So, yeah. So the background, checking everything about it. The speaker popularity. You want some speaker to be super good and bring people to your conference, and sometimes you will reach them personally to bypass all the process because like, oh, it's a superstar, so you will fit in even though evaluation, fuck it, you're good. But, yeah, there is other people that you don't necessarily know, but they have a huge amount of people following them. And there is also, you're looking like the followers on Twitter is already great. Also the employers, like, when someone from Google is like, oh, it's cool. There's other companies also that are big and will bring people to your event. So it's just an evaluation. It's not, okay, we will take all the people like coming from big events or big company for our talk, but it's helped us doing kind of an evaluation. Here is to show you a little bit how you can super easily do a spreadsheet to evaluate it. All the speakers, so I'm doing a spreadsheet by speakers, and we're more than 4 or 5 judges, and we try to categorize for each category that we talked earlier, if we like it them or not. And there is a lot of filter on it, so you cannot put another number that you want. And what is pretty good with that is you get a summary at the end of like the score, because you will not remember 130% that proposed talks. And you say, oh, I think I remember it was good, I'm not sure. So it's helped a lot. There is another criteria that you need to consider, like the budget. If we have an infinitive budget, everybody can come in with a flight, paying hotel and everything, but we cannot do that. So just knowing that if the speakers cost you a lot of money, and it's not that great, our subject is original, but there is other speakers that are doing some great thing, you may want to eliminate the person that costs you most and put the budget somewhere else. So just know about it. The language, I'm a French Canadian, the accent. So in Quebec, we're doing the event bilingual. So sometimes you try to find speakers that speak more French instead of English and try to fit them in a schedule. You want also local speaker, because your community, you want to be proud of yourself. You want to showcase how much people of your city or where you come from are good too, but you still want some that going from outside that will bring other attendees. A minority group, it's always good after you select. I never select a speaker about their minority group, where they come from. It's always the subject and the experience and the 3 other criteria. But at the end, if you're looking at, okay, I choose them, and I think I have a bias, only white person. So you can maybe choose and between 2 talks that you like it most, and see, okay, but maybe I will try to change and help people to come to your event by representation. And yeah. So this is kind of a summary of how, with the other sheet, I bring all the category of subject, the popularity and everything. And you can have filter on Google Sheets. So you can filter, okay, which are our best subject that we evaluated, and which are our best speakers, the popularity and everything, to try to make a decision about it. So when you decided, I have like 4 category of choosing people. So the person I want, I put it in green. The person oh, maybe yes, like it's good overall, but I prefer other one. I will say a maybe yes, a maybe no. This was good, but it depends. And the totally no, I don't want them, because usually when you have a lot of submission, you need to eliminate them as much as you can. So there is some round that I'm doing. It's like, can I save money? Do the speaker that is super good, like I say early, come from Australia, and I don't have like that much of sponsor to bring this person come. Even though the talk is super great, I will eliminate that kind of person because I don't have the budget for. I will check between subject, and because there is a lot of persons that submit this kind of same subject. So you try to group them together and choose which one is your favorite between this subject and eliminate all others. Or keep in maybe one after, because there are always speakers that will will cancel or say, I cannot do your event anymore. So you need to keep at least 2% that you like on every subject. And if the same thing, you like a speaker really much, sometimes they propose more than 1 talk, so choose which talk you like, and the other one, forget about it, you don't have time for that. And you repeat this until you finally get your number of speakers. Like for women tech makers, we were 6, and we decided in 3 days. of debating and saying, no, I prefer this one and whatever, and it may be good, the subject is better, but it's a great speaker, but we have others that will bring in. So it's always hard after that when people ask why I was not chosen. I'm like, I try. There was so much good speakers, but I cannot choose everyone. So this is kind of how I eliminate people. Also, we try to have a good mix of speakers. So you don't want just experimented speakers. You want at least 70% of a speaker that are super great. And you want to give a chance to new person or the person that you don't have any proof that they are good to speak in front of people. Because as a community, we want more people to get involved and take leadership and things like that. So you want them to show up, but you don't want to have an event that people will say, oh, you have a lot of speakers that was not really, it was great, but. So trying to have a good proportion about that. And like I said earlier, speaker versus international speakers. Having a waiting list, because every speaker applies to a lot of conference. And sometime between the date they subscribe and send you their subscription, shit happens, and finally they cannot come to your event. So, like with pay-per-call, it's super easy to say, oh, sorry, you're in the waiting list. We like your talk. We will get you back soon if there is speaker that cancel and everything. So, for a big event, the ideal milestone, and it's never like that, is to start like 6 months before the event, making sure your website is cool, everything is super perfect. 5 months before the event, sharing the CFP so the world know about your event and they all want to apply because your city is so great and you give them a big representation. 3 months before the event, choosing the speakers so they can adjust their talk and doing things like that. And 2 more before, you give a response to speaker 2 months before the event. But actually, usually it's more like that. You're doing kind of the same thing at the same time, say, oh my God, I don't know how many I will have because budget is not released yet. I don't find enough sponsor. I'm not sure yet, so I cannot choose speaker and everything. And you're kind of running every time. And you try to choose a speaker only 1 week before the date that you say, oh, I will give you an answer this date. And usually at least have a month before the event so the speaker can prepare themselves. And if there is some that just cancel, you can at least find another one and fix everything. So this is more usually do. So a last tip for having great speaker is to make them work their deck before the event. Like everybody in the world, we are super last minute. I am the last minute. If I didn't needed to show a deck like 3 days ago, I was still working on it just before the event. So at least I always ask my speaker to give me their deck 1 week before the event, so I'm sure that they just can practice 1 week before. They will not change a lot of it, and they can change. It's just to make them stressful to have a date that they need to give me, so they prepare it in advance. So this is kind of how I try to find good speakers. So this is the end. If you have any question yeah.
Kind of a quick comment.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see what you guys are doing because you're doing a lot of like similar stuff to what we're doing on a regional level. We actually formed a nonprofit to kind of take care of some of the conference stuff.
Yeah.
And that's come in really handy. Another thing is on your selection of speakers. We use a tool called Sessionize because we used to have to do the same thing with spreadsheets to be able to select the speakers.
Okay.
So like at HR Dev Fest, it was manageable somewhat, but once you get to that kind of threshold when you're getting into events that are larger, 300 to 500 people, you've
Yeah,
you
of
felt
course.
the pain. You know, it's like hundreds of like submissions. They're all good. You know, you'd like them all to speak, but they can't. So Sessionize kind of like ranks it, and you just kind of go through and you vote based on the abstracts that are in there. And then we go back in another round for the ones that we liked, and we start investigating deeper to kind of look at their social
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But we do have kind of ratios like you're talking about. We want local speakers, but we also want to bring in the speakers from abroad. So really good.
Yeah, well, of course, I thought about the spreadsheet as a way of starting it, but when we grow, build or use other tools because it will be super hard just to follow everything. But for starting, if you want, it can be easy with that. But yeah, share your tools to everybody, and it will be super great.
Super awesome that you got up there and did it even though you didn't want to. Thank you for that. Second thing is on the hoverboard, one thing I'd recommend if you haven't looked at it is the DeLorean from Kyle. Is really, really helpful. Anybody that hasn't used it, DeLorean is so much. I've used hoverboard as well, and I think that's why. And I really appreciate the links and the resources, which I'm hoping we will all get, because that roadmap for what you just did was awesome. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. Okay, I can get that.
Okay.
So there will be lunch now, but I would like to say that we have a session for Not Bots Battle, so it will be outside, and also during the lunch, you can meet Googlers who are there. Can you just raise your hands, Googlers? Okay, so you can meet them and ask questions during lunch. Enjoy your lunch.
140. Everyone bring back my 140, please.